Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy and I'm here today to read you the very last chapter from my book SUNDAE Girl, and big thank you to everyone who's hung in this far to listen to the whole story unfold. Some funny bits, happy bits, sad bits, dramatic bits. Just like life, the story has it all. And at the top of chapter 31, picture of Jude's feet with a scarf wrapped around them. So let's find out how the story ends. It's October now, and spring is long gone. Summer's over too, and the leaves on the trees that edge the graveyard are turning slowly to scarlet, bronze and gold. There's a chill in the air, and I wind my black scarf tightly around my neck, letting the ends dangle. It's the last scarf Gran ever knitted, and I love it, even though it's full of holes and knots and made from 3 different kinds of wool. "What about me?" Carter asks, tugging at the scarf. "Can't we share?" We're sitting side by side on the wall that runs alongside the graveyard, looking out at the new-mown grass, the rows of gravestones with their little metal pots filled with supermarket flowers. Carter unpeels the scarf, edges closer to me, and wraps it around us both. The fringed ends hang down almost to the ground. Toto is scrabbling about in the grass at our feet, checking out Carter's abandoned BMX bike, sniffing at the wire mesh bins filled with rotting flowers and crumpled cellophane. Nearby, the standpipe tap still drips from where I changed the flowers on Gran's grave, rinsed out the metal vase and refilled it. "I still miss her," I tell Carter, "all the time." "I suppose you do," he says. He doesn't say that I'll get over it or that the pain will fade with time like other people do. He just listens, and I think he understands. "Grandad still sets the place for her at the table sometimes," I say, "or makes her a mug of cocoa at night. I don't think he'll ever totally believe that she's gone." "Well, you can get used to people being around," Carter points out, grinning, digging me in the ribs. I smile. Yeah, I guess you can." I passed my piano exam, by the way. I even got my merit. Mum framed the certificate and hung it on the wall in the living room above the piano, right next to her framed poster of Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz. Things are different now at home. Mum came out of the alcohol dependency unit in May, and right away she signed up for a course the hospital were running on dealing with addiction. She took it seriously, going in every day, learning about alcohol and the way it affects the body. "It's a drug," she told me, "for some people. She fell in love with drink, loved it more than me or Gran or Grandad, more than Dad or Giovanni. She let it drain the hope out of her life, turn a Technicolor world to black and white. Drink wrecks lives," she said to me. "You wouldn't believe the damage, the pain it can cause." Well, I would, as it goes. "The trouble is people don't understand alcoholics," Mum went on. "They don't want to be shouted at or pitied or despised. None of that helps. They need to talk. They need to be understood. And who better to do that than an ex-drinker?" So now my mum is training to be a voluntary addiction counsellor, which sounds kind of crazy, but then again, in another way, it makes a lot of sense. Mum called Miss Devlin a few weeks ago, asking about the drama group, and after long discussions, the two of them agreed to organise a production of The Wizard of Oz at St. Joe's. "It's a wonderful musical," Mum insisted, "with a timeless message. We've all wasted time looking for someone else to fix up all our troubles, haven't we? But nobody else can do that. Only we can. We're the ones with the magic." "Maybe," Miss Devlin said. "I suppose we're all looking for our very own yellow brick road." It's just a matter of time before Miss Devlin discovers that Mum will be more help with the hair, makeup and costumes than anything else. But hey, that's show business. Giovanni, the one with no backbone, is still around. His support and encouragement helped Mum get through, and it helped Grandad and me as well. Last month he sold his ice cream van on eBay. He hyped it up as a 1960s classic van and scooped a fortune from some collector down south who reckons he's going to do it up and put it in a museum. It turns out he's been saving up for years anyway, and he's just down a deposit on a tiny stall in the food court at the big shopping mall in town. It's going to sell ice cream sundaes, low-fat sorbets, frozen yogurts and fresh fruit smoothies, just like Mum suggested. Giovanni will work there full-time, Mum and Grandad part-time, and me on Saturdays. Scary. At least I don't have to wear a mini dress and winkle pickers, I tell Carter. Shame, he says, his arm snaking around my waist. That dress was cute. I liked the fringy bits. I frown. How do you know it was cute, I ask. How do you know about the fringy bits? Carter looks shifty. Your granddad showed me the photos last week when he was helping me fix the buckled wheel on my BMX. Carter has abandoned his rollerblades at last. Brendan Coyle chucked him out of the street hockey team, so he took my advice and found a new hobby. Sadly, his talents, if he has any, do not seem to lie in the world of BMXing either. Carter pulls on the long black scarf, reeling me in like a fish on the line until our cheeks are touching. He puts a hand up to push my hair back, tilt my face towards him. He kisses me then, and my lips tingle and my toes curl, and I have to admit that Carter does have talents, after all. After a while, Toto starts whining for attention, and we pull apart, grinning. Carter picks up a fallen branch and chucks it along the cobbled pathway for Toto to chase. It's dusk, and the sky is streaked with pink and orange, casting a golden glow over everything. Can't wait to see the next lot of photos, he says slyly. You know, the ones from Italy. You will not be seeing any photos from Italy, I tell him sternly. What was it you said? He teases. 3 meters of apricot-coloured net, frills and flounces and satin ribbon, a proper bridesmaid's dress this time. Nice. So I elbow him in the side and he yells and wriggles out of the scarf and falls back off the wall into the fallen leaves, waving his legs in the air. There's going to be another wedding. Mum and Giovanni this time. They're flying out to Cosenza in Italy, where Giovanni is from, so that his mum, dad, 3 brothers, 4 sisters and 22 cousins can all be there, along with assorted aunts, uncles and friends. Grandad and I are going too, of course. It's going to be a church wedding, and Grandad is going to walk down the aisle and give Mum away in time-honoured tradition. Me, I'll be trussed up like an ice cream sundae, leading 6 small Italian bridesmaids behind me. Yippee! I can't wait. Carter jumps up and sits astride the wall. Hey, Jude, he says, grinning at me. How long have we been going out now? We're not going out, I tell him. Right, he frowns. So, what are we doing exactly? Just hanging out. Hanging out, okay. He's so near I can feel his breath, warm and sweet on my cheek. His fingers close around mine. Whatever, he says. We've been hanging out all summer, yeah? I suppose, I shrug. Well, remember you once said you had to practice something lots to get really good at it? I've been thinking about it, he says, and I reckon there are whole aspects of hanging out we haven't even covered yet. It might take months and months, years even, to get it perfect. So? So maybe we should put in more practice later. I'll meet you at the chippy at 7:30. Carter leans forward and kisses me softly, then jumps off the wall, picks up his BMX and pedals away. Toto runs along behind, nipping at the tyres. Watch this, he shouts, rolling into a wheelie and trying to swat Toto away at the same time. Predictably, the BMX skids off the path and crashes into a wire mesh bin. Carter sits up, rubbing his elbow. I'm getting better, he says, grinning. In the setting sun, the cobbled path that cuts through the grass gleams golden yellow. It shimmers in the fading light like something magical, a path that could lead you to an emerald city, glinting in the distance, or maybe just to a night at the chippy with a cute, clumsy, straw-haired boy. The way I see it, you just have to take your Technicolor moments where you can, before the world fades back into black and white. I slide off the wall and run along the golden path towards Carter, my scarf flying out behind me. And that's the end. I really, really hope you have enjoyed this story. As you know, it's quite a personal story for me, and some of the saddest chapters very, very hard for me to read, and I know hard to listen to too. If you tune in for Sunday Book Club tomorrow, I can explain a little bit more about what made me write the story. But I just want to thank you for listening along, and I hope that a little bit of escapism, even if it's not always happy escapism, has helped your lockdown, especially those those people in wintry lockdown in the UK and Ireland. But yeah, thanks for coming along on the journey with me, and I'll see you at Sunday Book Club. Take care until then.